Welcome back, everyone. Today's deep dive is going to be pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at Unspoken, the new album from Humanclock.
That's right. Lenny's really kind of breaking out with this one.
He really is. I mean, we've
Yeah.
talked about him before on the show,
Yeah.
but this is definitely like
Next level stuff.
next level. Yeah, and I'm excited to dig into it with you because I know you're a huge fan of the.
Oh, huge
Yeah.
fan. Big fan of the genre, and of him in particular. I think he's really doing something
Yeah,
special, you know?
yeah, and what I really love about Unspoken is how it tackles this idea of like how life and dreams
Right.
they kind of intertwine and how they both shape us.
It's like that line between what's real and what we experience in our dreams and how it all comes together.
Totally. And I think that's something everyone can relate to, right? Like we've all had those dreams that just like stick with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or you wake up and you're like, wait, was that real or was that just a dream? Yeah, and I think that's what Lenny's really tapping into here. He's exploring that space where the conscious and the subconscious meet.
And he's doing it with this incredible blend of progressive rock and metal.
Oh, yeah. If Russian Tool had a baby that listened to Dream Theater, Gojira, and Korn every day, that's Humanclock.
That's the perfect description.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heavy, but it's also so melodic and intricate.
Complex.
Yeah, and you can just hear all those influences.
For sure, you can pick him out, but it's still something unique, you know?
Absolutely.
It's not just like a copycat.
No, not at all. It's very much his own sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so exciting.
So let's jump right in then and start with the first track, Lunatic.
Okay. Yeah, a
Yeah.
Lunatic. This one really sets the tone for the whole album, I think.
Oh yeah, right from those opening lines like sunless skies, the darkest nights, a shattered mind consumed by flames.
Oof. It's like you're dropped right into this internal struggle.
Yeah, you're like thrown into this dark world immediately.
It's almost like a confrontation with your shadow self, you know?
That hidden part of us.
Yeah, all those fears, anxieties, things we don't want to face.
And the way he repeats, wake up now. And remember how it's like to hide this feeling? It's like,
It's desperate. It's like this plea to break free.
but also like a fear of facing those truths, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's that push and pull.
And musically, it's just so intense.
The polyrhythms, the conflicting rhythms. It's like the music itself is embodying that inner turmoil.
Yeah, you can feel the conflict right there in the music.
It's brilliant.
Did you find yourself connecting to that at all? Like that feeling of wanting to hide or struggling with those emotions?
Oh, totally. I mean, I think we've all been there, right? Like those times when you just want to bury those feelings.
Yeah.
But Lunatic is like a reminder that you can't really move forward until you face them.
Right, and then we move into the title track, Unspoken. And it's like that confrontation starts to happen.
Yeah, it builds on those themes of hidden truths, but there's a shift.
Yeah, I was really struck by shadows unveil, the truth you can't hide. It's like,
And acceptance. Yeah.
like you can't run from it anymore.
And the music becomes more atmospheric. It's
Mhm,
like you
mhm.
can feel the weight of those unspoken truths.
Yeah, but there's also this glimmer of hope, right? Like at the end when he sings, it's all right, just let go, let go.
Yes. It's like surrendering to it and maybe finding some peace in that.
And then from there, we're thrown into this idea of fate and cycles with epitome of fate.
Oh, yeah. This one's a trip.
You know, you've got these lines about new beginnings and dreams,
Mm.
but then it's always waiting for fate to strike again.
Right, like this tension between hope and knowing that challenges are inevitable.
Totally.
And musically, it just goes back and forth between these driving sections and then these slower, more melancholic parts.
Like life itself, you know?
Yeah, the ups and downs.
The ebb and flow.
Exactly. And he captures it so well in the music.
Oh, man. The way the tempo changes are reflected in the guitar work.
Masterful.
It's just brilliant songwriting.
It really is.
Okay, but before we get too lost in epitome of fate,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on to Archetype A, because this one is where things start to get really...
Oh, yeah, this is where the escape really kicks in.
It's like a desperate plea to just forget everything.
To wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, it says those lines, if I could, I would forget my dreams before the dawn. It's like a mantra.
Yeah, like he's trying to convince himself.
And the imagery with the walls and the sea, it's like,
That barrier between the conscious and the subconscious.
yeah, wanting to separate from those unsettling truths.
And the music here, it's so vast but also confining.
Yeah, you have those intricate time signature changes, the double bass drumming the soaring guitar solos.
It's like he's creating this sonic representation of the subconscious, you know?
Yeah, like a labyrinth you're trying to escape.
Exactly, and it's both beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
And then we get hit with then, and it's like, bam, back to reality.
Back to the real world struggles.
Yeah, the anger is palpable in this one.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, my friend. Here we lose again. I'm so angry.
It's like all that introspection from the previous tracks has crashed into the harsh realities of life.
And there's this cynicism about right and wrong, like, two wrongs doesn't make it right, right? Where whispers turn to lies.
It makes you question everything you know.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm left wondering, is this like a regression back to those cycles of pain, or is it like,
Unnecessary confrontation.
yeah, like maybe you have to face those external battles before you can truly move forward?
It's interesting how it sets up the rest of the album.
It really does.
We'll have to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, and I'm excited to keep digging into it.
Me too.
So, should we take a quick break and come back to this?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's like we were getting somewhere with Unspoken, and then she kind of throws us back into
back into that struggle.
Yeah, and then Archetype B picks up right there with this
Oh, this one's heavy.
desire to escape it all.
Dreams and reality both.
Yeah, like he's looking for oblivion anywhere he can find it.
And it's interesting how it mirrors Archetype A.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like in A, he wants to forget his dreams, but here in B, it's about...
Escaping the waking world.
Yeah. Every time I close my eyes and only see moments to forget, running from the darkness straight into the night.
It's like he's trying to run from himself.
And I think that line, you see, I met my demons once. Inside of me, tearing me apart, is key.
Oh, definitely.
It's like those shadows he confronted earlier. They haven't gone away. They've...
Merged with the external struggles.
Exactly. It's all become one big mess of...
Torment.
Yeah, and the music just reinforces that feeling of being trapped.
Oh, man, the guitars, the drums, it's all so...
Suffocating.
Yeah, like there's no way out.
It's claustrophobic?
But it's so well done. You know?
Oh, yeah. Musically, it's brilliant.
I do wonder, though, does this represent a regression for the album's narrative, or is it more like
Maybe it's both.
maybe it's acknowledging that the journey isn't linear?
That there will be setbacks.
Yeah, even when you're trying to move forward.
Those darker impulses, they can creep back in.
And then Dreamcatcher comes along, and it's like, whoa.
This is where it all comes together.
Yeah, the idea that dreams and nightmares, they can bleed into reality.
And you can't always tell what's real anymore.
There's no escape, lost. I mean, that line just gives me chills.
It's haunting.
And the imagery, shadows dance, illusions creep, a twisted plot, a nightmare deep.
Like, you're right there in that nightmare with him.
Musically, too, it's the most experimental track on the album.
Dissonant chords, time signature changes, it's like...
The music itself is falling apart.
It's brilliant, but it's also unsettling.
Yeah, you really feel that sense of mental and emotional fragmentation.
Like being lost in a labyrinth of dreams and nightmares.
But then Este Angelo comes in, and it's like a complete 180.
Such a beautiful track.
It's so unexpected after the intensity of Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, it's this moment of quiet contemplation.
And it's in Spanish, which is also interesting.
Adds another layer to the whole thing.
Yeah, in this yearning, that's what it translates to.
And it brings us back to those themes from Lunatic, but with a different perspective.
Yeah, instead of struggling against those emotions, it's about...
Embracing them.
Yeah, the yearning, the longing.
The solitude.
And that line, no me importara que me quedes sin palabras.
It won't matter that I'm left speechless.
It's like surrendering to those emotions, even if you can't put them into words.
Beautiful.
And musically, it's just so stripped down.
Acoustic guitar, piano, Lenny's voice, just raw and vulnerable.
It's heartbreaking, but also uplifting in a way.
Like, after all that chaos, there's finally a sense of peace.
Yeah, like a resolution.
It's a powerful ending to a powerful album.
It's like we went through this whole emotional journey.
Yeah, like a roller coaster.
And we end up back where we started. But
transformed.
Yeah, like we've learned something along the way.
Exactly. It's not about finding easy answers. It's about
embracing the complexities.
Yeah, the messiness of it all.
The ups and downs, the light and the dark.
The dreams and the reality.
And I think that's what makes Unspoken such a powerful album.
It stays with you.
It really does.
And for anyone who's into progressive rock metal but also wants something that
makes you think.
Yeah, that challenges you emotionally.
You got to check out Unspoken.
Absolutely, it's an experience.
So as we wrap up, I'm left with this question.
Okay.
Humanclock explores all these cyclical patterns, right?
Yeah, the struggles, the escapes.
But what happens when we break free from those cycles?
That's a good question.
What happens when we embrace those unspoken truths?
I think that's something each listener has to figure out for themselves.
Yeah, it's a personal journey.
But maybe it leads to a new level of freedom.
Or maybe it creates new challenges.
Either way, the journey doesn't end with the album.
It's just the beginning.
And Humanclock has given us this amazing soundtrack to take with us.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.